Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of iTrack. Hey man, China has officially given humanoid robots citizenship with the sole purpose of getting in the workforce and retiring at some point. Sounds kind of like humans, right? Yeah, we'll take a look at it along with a lot of other interesting and creepy videos. But before we get into any of that, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button and subscribe if you're not already a part of the iTrack fam. And we're just gonna jump straight into it.
China just gave 28,000 robots their own national ID cards. China launched the world's first national platform for tracking humanoid robots from production through to retirement. Every robot now receives a unique 29-character digital code recording its maker, hardware specs, AI capability level, and full service history. The platform already covers more than 100 companies and 28,000 registered machines across the country. China already builds 84% of the world's humanoid robots, and now every single one of them has a paper trail.
And with that, we fully understand why China is so ahead of the US in the whole AI humanoid robot race. I mean, if they're already giving these robots citizenship, that speaks on exactly where they are and how serious they are about it.
Self-driving car turned its teenage occupants into police. Officers say the interior cameras caught the two 15-year-olds drinking and shooting from the vehicle. Waymo then called the police in San Mateo, California. Police officers stopped the car and found the teens with alcohol and a gun that shoots water beads. A police statement says while their actions were not good ideas, at least the kids had the sense to use a Waymo because driving while impaired would have made this much worse.
We know that Waymo for sure might be on that list of cars that's willing to drop a dime on you.
CERN machine turned off and things are going back to how they used to be.
China has successfully landed a reusable rocket for the first time in a major breakthrough for the country's space program. The Long March 10B rocket lifted off from Hainan around 12 p.m. local time. 6 minutes after separating from the rocket's upper stage, the booster returned to Earth vertically and was recovered on a floating platform. The boosters are generally seen as the most valuable part of a rocket. By reusing them, the cost of satellite launches and space exploration can be significantly lowered. This milestone signals that China may be able to challenge America's dominance in reusable rockets after successful landings by Elon Musk's SpaceX and Blue Origin.
Just curious, what language was God speaking when he said, "Let there be light"?
Am I crazy or is that a conferi?
This is the clearest you're gonna see a UFO. Where's it at? Right there.
No se alcanza a ver.
We're gonna die.
Did you know light has no shadow? The flame has no shadow because light cannot cast darkness. And in the same way, God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. God has no hidden sin. He has no evil motives. He has no corruption. There is zero darkness in God. Everything he is perfectly holy.
Enoch tells you that the first generation Nephilim would only live for 500 years and that they were to kill each other off in a massive civil war that their parents had to watch. This 500-year civil war that Enoch writes about is what the Greeks later stylized what became known as the Clash of the Titans. When they were killed off in the civil war, their spirits went out and became wandering spirits. They lost their physicality. They're looking for bodies again. In this state, they were and are demonic entities. So what happened next? I believe they started this process of the genetic manipulation that we read about in Joshua 4:18 and Jubilees 7:24. They started to create host bodies for their spirits to go into. And those animal-human chimera may have been similar in characteristics to their fathers.
Bro, am I tripping or do Kendrick look mad dark on this video, bro? Like, look, y'all look at Kendrick's face. Like, dude, that's creepy.
You're looking at a sphinx, tucked away in an Ohio forest, 30 miles south of Cleveland, off a gravel trail in a country park. sitting on sandstone that's 300 million years old.
Hey, all the fam in Ohio, tap in and let me know if you had a chance to run across that Sphinx. It's pretty interesting, and it does say a lot about what actually could be hidden in America's past.
There are vans driving around your city right now that can literally see through your walls and no one told you. They're called backscatter vans, and yes, they're real. These unmarked police vehicles are equipped with mobile X-ray scanners that can see through buildings, car doors, and even into your home from the street. You won't hear them, you won't know they're there, and they don't need a warrant. This isn't science fiction. These vans have been used in major cities like New York, Miami, and Los Angeles. The technology was originally designed for the military to detect explosives overseas. Now it's being used here on civilians with almost zero oversight. The vans fire bursts of ionizing radiation, the same kind used in TSA body scanners. But this radiation is mobile, more focused, and aimed straight through solid objects. No law requires police to inform the public. No study confirms it's safe, and there's no limit on who or what they scan. Privacy groups have warned for years this is warrantless.
Take one pole of a magnet and hold it up against a black and white TV. The field is clockwise. Turn it around to the opposite pole and counterclockwise.
Look, this is what we're having to deal with right now. Okay? This is what we're having to deal with right now. And there's more of them. There's quite a few that we've not seen around yet.
Stop the cap.
Venture seeker filming from a cliff discovered what appeared to be a concealed cave entrance, and emerging from inside it was a being carrying a large, egg-shaped object. The creature surveyed its surroundings before retreating into the cave, apparently unaware of the camera until the final moments of the footage. The clip spread quickly, with viewers split between those who believed it showed an unknown species protecting offspring and those who identified the encounter as something considerably more disturbing. Whether the being was biological, interdimensional, or something else entirely has not been resolved, and the cave's location has not been disclosed.
So y'all, it's true. They really got this stuff marked down, and I don't know why. These Beyond sausages, 50 cents. These Beyond steak, $2. This Guardian chicken strips, 50 cents. This Guardian fish, 50 cents. Now I'm not gonna be crazy and just grab all this stuff, but that's a good deal, and I don't know why they got all this stuff marked down, but even over here you can see they got the veggie dogs, $2. They got the burgers, $2. A lot of this stuff marked down. It's marked down. Marked down. Now I know y'all thinking like, I thought you said you weren't gonna get a lot. This is not really a lot, y'all. I mean it is, but it ain't. Just egg is on sale. Even the just meat is on sale too, y'all. You got the regular one just for $2. Buffalo, $2. I haven't tried the buffalo, so I'm gonna try that. Okay, y'all, so while I'm here, I'm looking at this coconut water. They came out with some great value coconut water for $5. It's actually not a bad deal. As you can see, this is 10. And this is not from concentrate for $5, so that's a good deal. As y'all can see, I got all this stuff for like $2, 50 cents. Some of it was like $4, but most of it was like 50 cents and $2, so yeah, good deal. I better go catch Walmart.
Now, anybody in their right mind is gonna ask a few more questions than he did. I mean, sausage that's 50 cents, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Now, if you know more than I do, tap in and let me know what I'm missing.
I don't know. What do you think? I got it on my camera. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, no. I think so. Come see it. Come see it on my camera.
I know, right? No, I don't think it's a gator. I think it's no, it's a gator. It's a gator?
Yeah. I don't think so. It ain't moving.
Yeah, it's a gator. Look.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Oh no, he's not letting it go.
recording? Look at this thing. They're glowing on the damn camera. That's amazing, if I do say so myself.
Oh, just look.
They did the same thing. They wanted Nelly's daughters or his sons. Nelly didn't want to give up none of his sons or daughter, but he gave up his bodyguard. And if y'all want to Google that, it didn't make headlines, but we knew in the Lou what was happening. Nelly's bodyguard got shot in the head maybe a year or two ago, but that was a sacrifice. Nelly sacrificed his bodyguard, and his bodyguard was like family. See what I'm saying?
Nobody knew that they were putting livestock trackers in our food. This is an actual livestock tracker. Whoever put that in there is gonna know your location. This is exactly what that is right here. It's literally an animal tracker pretty much that you can use for humans. Imagine how easy it is to hide one of these small little things inside anything. If you want to know more about this, it's going viral on Reddit right now, so you can check Reddit. But this is actually crazy that we are finding all of this crazy stuff in our food.
Did you know that if you have 5 pounds of fat around your stomach, you can actually prevent a bullet from reaching any vital organs? So you're not fat, you're just armored.
Now, she makes a great point, but if you don't die from the bullet, you'll definitely die from obesity.
One patient from a hospital in the Philippines thought he was hallucinating, but then his phone camera proved that he was not. Near the bed of another patient, a tall, dark figure was standing still, as if looking down at him. It looked exactly like a grim reaper waiting to take him away. No one else in the room reacted or seemed to notice it at all. Despite feeling scared, he was also relieved that it wasn't there for him. Just like he had guessed, that patient did not make it. And after that, the Reaper vanished too.
The CEO of Randstad, the world's largest staffing company, said, quote, "The days of going to college and doing something in an office are over," end quote. His advice to students, learn a trade or learn AI. The path your parents took doesn't exist anymore. The man who runs the biggest hiring company on earth just told your kid and or your grandkid to skip the office.
Right, look at this crisscross pattern on these rocks. You see that? You see that pattern, especially there? Now, if you look at human skin, you will see the exact same pattern. And that's because this is petrified biology. And actually, this place I'm in is a national park. And if you go on Google Maps and look at the top part of it, which is beyond that far-looking coastline over there, you will see that it is clearly some kind of being, some kind of giant horse. And all over this realm, like I've said, are giant petrified beings, the remains of giant petrified beings. Mountains are the remains of giant petrified beings, and this one is no different. And you can see there that that is clearly skin cells. Look there, I'll show you again, the human skin cell, or the human skin, and this rock here. And that's because this is the remains of a giant being. And that's what we live on. All of the history that you've been told about this realm, about whatever you've been told, is just a lie. There used to be 1,000-mile-long dragons, giant horses, giant titans, gods like Zeus and Hercules, giant beings. And at some point they got petrified, which requires extreme heat, like a big heat event, and they all got turned to stone. And that's what we live on. And the evidence is all over. And that's what it is.
And yes, this is real. Scientists are quietly warning that 3 massive city-killer asteroids could be on a collision course with Earth, and most people have no idea. A new study reveals that asteroids 2020 SB, 524522, and 2020 CL1 orbit near Venus, hidden by the sun's glare, making them nearly invisible to Earth's telescopes. These space rocks are massive, big enough to wipe out entire cities and unleash a blast 1,000,000 times stronger than the Hiroshima bomb. Here's where it gets unsettling. If one were headed our way, we'd only have 2 to 4 weeks notice. Not nearly enough time to launch a deflection mission, which usually takes years. Researchers admit that our best shot at spotting these hidden threats is a dedicated space mission near Venus. But so far, there's no sign of urgency from the global powers. So the question is, why aren't we hearing more about this? And if the clock is ticking, are we even prepared? Sometimes the real danger isn't what we know, it's what we're not being told.
In Antarctica, you're never allowed to pee on the ice. Not even when you're hiking for hours. It's because it's so cold and so dry there that when it snows, it basically never melts. So it just stacks up into layers and layers of ice and traps air inside. And then scientists drill ice cores to study that air, going back hundreds of thousands of years to learn what the environment was like back then. But if anything else hits that ice, like ash from volcanic eruptions, that gets trapped too. So you can't pee, because if you did, one day some descendant of yours would be taking an ice core in Antarctica, and they'd dig and dig and dig, and they'd pull it out and they'd say, "What's that yellow line?" But to see what's really hidden under the ice, follow along, because it's really crazy.
Why does our nose have 2 holes instead of just 1? For one, that's pure nightmare fuel. Yikes. But part of it is because of how our bodies are programmed to grow, and it's actually super important to how we breathe. But hold that thought. We're part of a group called bilaterally symmetrical animals. That means if you split us down the middle, head to tail, we're basically a mirror image on both sides. And that's determined all the way down in our genetic instructions. But wait, our mouth just has 1 hole? Well, the surprising answer is that having 2 nostrils actually helps the nose smell and breathe better, because it turns out your nostrils are constantly taking turns. Sometimes one nostril breathes 60% and the other's 40%. Sometimes it's 70 and 30%. Blood vessels in the nose tighten and swell to switch which nose hole is more open. And then every 2 to 6 hours or so, they trade and the other nostril takes over. And this swap repeats all day and all night. This is all completely automatic. You don't even have to think about it. Although you're probably thinking about it right now, trying to figure out which nostril's in charge. Letting one nostril rest helps us manage the humidity of the air that we breathe. And having 2 nostrils also helps make our sense of smell richer and deeper. See, the open nostril catches more of the fast-acting scent chemicals, when the resting nostril can absorb scent chemicals that are more slow burners. They take longer to seep into the system. So together you get this richer sense of smell than one nostril alone. Made you look. Follow me for more cool science videos.
The reason they're called the Fresno Nightcrawler or Fresno Alien or Fresno Pants, a gentleman in South Fresno named Jose had captured this on the CCTV that he had put up for protection for his house and his property. Didn't know what to do with it, sat on it for a long time, and then eventually was just, I need answers. So he took it to Univision and they did a story on it. And that brought some attention from a few paranormal investigators. Well, fast forward 2011, another video comes out. You can see pants with a head. Like, it's just very clear what it is. It moves very slowly, very methodically.
Now, if you've been a part of the iTrack fan for long enough, I'm sure by now you understand that whoever's creating these demons, their creativity and their imagination is on 10. I mean, we've seen every shape and size of these demons.
The evil people in Hollywood. So, in America anyway, that was the main fight. The actors, you know, are kind of a little whorish, and they'll do whatever, you know, to get a good role or something, so they don't hold you responsible somehow. They really look to the director and the studio.
Look, guys, no introduction needed. We know who that is. We've seen his face. He's been in some of the biggest films. And look what he's just said about the industry. You think he's joking when he's saying things like that? Don't ever forget that they have to tell you these things because they believe in karmic retribution, so they've got to put it in your face. And anyway, they can put it in your face because it's not like anyone believes it anyway. Everyone's still going to go to the movies, everyone's still going to stream these films, everyone's still going to give these people attention. That's how it's always been. Bred in the circus, the oldest trick in the book. Wisen up.
guys, this is what happens when you don't pay your payment on your Cybertruck. It drives away by itself. I miss you, buddy. Come back to me. Come back.
It seems as if, like, when I deal with people who partake in witchcraft and they work with stuff like this, like, some of them, like, you'll go to their house, they living in a mansion, but they sleeping on the floor. And I'm like, why are you sleeping on the floor in this big house, man? Oh, you got to give up something to get something.
So is it safe to say 607 Ankh sleeps on the floor?
He sleep on the floor.
How did I know?
How did you know that?
The dark arts.
Listen, man, look, when it come to him, look, man.
Shout out 607, man.
Shout out 607, man. He sleep on the floor, bro, in a mansion. And I'm like, damn, bro.
He talks a certain way where you can tell this guy has interfaced with the other side for sure.
Yeah, because he doesn't read books. But somehow he'll know a lot of the same stuff that I know. He said, I don't read nothing, bro. I'll get downloads. And I've seen him get his downloads. You feel me? It's like, I spend a lot of time with him. I respect him. You feel me? I like him. He makes me angry sometimes because the nail polish and the little zesty moves, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm trying to get him over here. I'm going to figure it out. But he got a lot of big projects that he's doing right now. You know, him and Wack got the Dr. Unk show that just dropped. And that's another reason why I don't stay over there. Because, like, a lot of the people who create opportunities for people, I'm enemies with them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they's all my enemies. I apply pressure often. Like, sometimes I'll call him in the middle of the night, tell him he's a sucker, he's a coward. I'm thinking about him, I see him, slap him. I'll do that 2, 3 o'clock in the morning just to remind him. And, you know, when you got strong enemies, that's a blessing. So it's going to keep you on your toes. Because for me, I got strong enemies, you feel me? But I ain't no joke.
New species of shark that literally walks was just discovered. The newly identified walking shark, Dudgeon's walking shark, uses its fins, like tiny legs, to crawl across the seafloor, squeezing through coral reefs in search of crabs and shrimp and tiny fish. Walking sharks grow to less than 3 feet long, pose no threat to humans, and are found nowhere else in the world besides the reefs surrounding Indonesia and nearby islands. In its Papua New Guinea habitat, it spends so much of its time in waters so shallow that swimming isn't always the best option. Scientists say these unusual sharks are among the most recently evolved shark species, having developed in isolation over millions of years as rising seas separated reef systems. It's a reminder that even today, Earth's oceans are still hiding species we have never seen before.
Okay, guys. I think this is the first time I've encountered seeing lab-grown meat. I'm not going to say where I got this from, but I just cut this tri-tip open. Someone gave it to me. They were like, here, like, we got some extra, like, barbecue from pretty much, like, over July 4th weekend. Does tri-tip look like this, or am I literally seeing fake meat? Okay, ignore this. This is for my scrunchy face when I'm sleeping. Look at this. Does meat look like that? Ew. Why is it in layers like that? I'm pretty sure I've seen a video before of lab-grown meat, and it looks like in layers. Ooh, that's so gross.
So I'm currently in the cheapest country in the world for gas, which is Libya. The second being Iran and the third being Algeria, both of which I've been to, and now I'm in the cheapest. It is 15 dinar for 1 liter, which is like 1.5 cents per liter. So it's less than 6 cents per gallon. Less than 6 US cents for 1 gallon of fuel. Of course, the gas used in Libya is 100% produced in Libya, and that is one of several reasons that it's the cheapest country in the world for fuel. Also, they just do it the right way, but absolutely insane. Fuel can be 6 cents per gallon, especially with what's going on right now in the US.
Salam.
He literally just made a fist with the front hand.
Ask if he thinks so. Hey, do you think the Illuminati's real?
We gotta at least stream and gaming because Grand Theft Auto's coming up.
Hey, he hit him with that Heisman so hard that if he were to bring it back up again, it would be awkward. I mean, there was complete acknowledgement, and it was like, yeah, we're not talking about that. That was pretty funny.
What's up with the aliens? You know anything?
Oh, yeah, they're real.
Really? Are they fake?
No, just from my own personal experience.
You don't know anything for real about aliens, do you?
No, I don't. And I've asked. But I know my dad now for 56 years.
Yeah.
I'd be able to get it out. Birds aren't real, but aliens are, definitely.
You know what? You can say whatever you want, but you go to the royal family and you see they're having C-sections, and most of the kids in the royal families are 11s, 22s, 33s. So again, you can say whatever you want, but the people in the royal family, like Prince William, is an 11. His father is an 11. They were 11s and they were C-sections because the royal family wants people who are master numbers.
The royal family, almost everyone in the royal family is like an 11 life path. So they're obviously having C-sections to make sure these guys are all 11.
This photo was uploaded to Reddit in May 2026. The person that uploaded the picture said, "My brother recently traveled to China, and when he got back, we were going through the pictures he took when we noticed this. It seems to be someone flying through the air. What do you think?"
The reason it'll be worse than California is because the one thing that keeps California from being super crazy is that you can move out of California, like you and I did. You and I used to be in California, but we moved to Texas. We're still in America. But if the Dems win this election, they will legalize enough illegals to turn the swing states, and everywhere will be like California. There will be no escape.
That is so insane.
This is the final. This is it. This is the last chance.
It did have a tail. It was very small, and
when you were born.
Yeah, and like up until I was an adult. Yeah, just like a little. It looked like a mole. But then I was like, "What is this?" And they were like, "Well, technically, it's a tail." So, when I was getting a yearly checkup,
how old were you?
Like in my 20s.
Oh.
Yeah, this doctor stole my motherfucking tail, and like didn't ask permission, just was like zapped it right off.
So you were born with a tail?
Just like it's not like a dinosaur tail.
Did you know that humans used to have tails? But there's something weird as to why we don't have them anymore. The hell? See, it all started millions of years ago when our ancestors had full tails. And our studies show that they most likely needed it to balance while climbing trees and jumping across. But then something changed. See, there's a tiny piece in your DNA from your own genetic code that inserted itself into the gene, and it's called TBXT. This was involved with growing the tail while you were still in the womb. And this genetic code interfered with people's sizes, length of their tails, and eventually there was no more tail. And that's why we just left without tailbone. But there's still one part that makes no sense. We don't fully know why losing our tails was beneficial for evolution. There's no clear advantage to that. So all in all, we're all furries.
Hey guys, here to talk about the latest Mandela effect. When did that happen?
Now, as long as I've been alive, it's been TJ Maxx. When in the world has it turned into TK Maxx? Tap in and let me know, man. I must be missing something.
This creature changes its entire color and its gender without surgery. Meet the ribbon eel, a creature so weird that scientists thought the blue, yellow, and black ones were completely different species. Here's the crazy part. They're all the same animal. Ribbon eels are born black and male. As they grow older, they turn electric blue, and if they get even bigger, they transform into a bright yellow female. That means this eel can naturally change both its color and its gender during its lifetime. Very few vertebrates can do something this dramatic. And see those tiny tubes on its nose? Those aren't decoration. They're super sensitive nostrils that help it smell prey hiding in the sand. Nature literally gave this eel multiple glow-ups and said, why not?
Is the Chinese theater in Hollywood, California haunted? On a Hollywood ghost tour, I learned about one of its most famous alleged spirits, Victor Killian, a former vaudeville performer turned character actor. He lived just a block away from the theater until 1979, when an unknown assailant violently ransacked his apartment and took his life, a crime that remains unsolved to this day. And according to local legend, Killian's ghost now lingers in the forecourt and along the sidewalk in front of the Chinese theater. Witnesses say that he appears as an elderly man in vintage clothing, looking strangely out of place among the tourists as if he's still searching for the person who took his life.
Some people will say to this day, late at night, after seeing a screening, you might have a conversation with an old man. He'll tell you all about his favorite days in the theater, then he'll turn to walk away, and you'll see a head wound behind him.
If you're into ghostly Hollywood lore and want to hear more stories like this, you can check out the Haunt Ghost Tours in Hollywood.
Today I learned that Cartoon Network and PBS are the only children's programs not associated with the files. Let that sink in.
So who's our real enemy? These guys, there's literally like 6 of them that control literally the oligarchs, from Elon Musk to Sam Altman to Peter Thiel, and all of these guys own the data, and we get nothing from it. And they use all of that data to feed us
So basically what you're saying has happened is it's gotten out of control.
Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Look at how this tree rooted. Look at this. It followed the design of the pathway. Is it just me or is that fucking crazy? Look at that.
Hey, looking at that, there's no way you can say that trees are not living beings. That is pretty wild.
A video from Africa is going viral, and not for the usual reasons. Tourists filming near the forest spotted a black creature moving with the dust. At first, it looked like a shadow, but as the camera focused, its movements became clear. It twisted, turned, and danced with an almost deliberate grace, as if guided by an invisible hand. Locals say it is the guardian of the forest, a being they call the Dust Devil. Ancient tales claim it can control the winds, and we just witnessed that. Scary part? It disappears immediately under the ground, as if it wasn't there ever before. Well, watching it felt haunting.
Understand what y'all looking at, man. It's the ice wall in Antarctica. And mind you, bro, you see that man right there? You see how small he is? You see how tiny he is compared to this fall, man, that's up a few hundred feet up high. And look how far down it stretch. Look how far down that is, man. That shit stretch on for miles. And that's not even the water at, that's not even the bottom. It goes down a few thousand more feet. Look how high up that shit is, man. That's higher than the highest tower in the... Look how high that shit is, man. Look how thick that shit is. Look how far down it go. Look how high up that shit is, man. They gotta use that frame to get on top of it.
Did you fucking feel panic if you just went through that?
I think you do more than panic. That is bananas. Like they're the whole way over there. You can see the actual flat piece of water over there. Yeah.
There was a situation where there was an underage child that he had something going on with, allegedly making 911 calls from his house. That disappeared. The situation with somebody getting killed, that disappears. He had some shit going on with Suge Knight, that disappears. This most recent instance, somebody will call and say, listen, man, he about to get 25 years. Come do this comedy roast and this will all go away. That's why he's there. That's what, listen, bro, you wouldn't expect to see him there.
Yeah, it goes against what he claims to stand for.
And why is he there?
They are all part of the club, including Cat Williams. Sorry to upset anyone out there, but Cat Williams is a gatekeeper. During the roast of Kevin Hart, when he was supposedly exposing everything, he had his hat tilted, representing the ring of Saturn, representing Saturn and the cult of Saturn. And behind him was all of these squares, or cubes, I should say. And that represents the cube of Saturn. You can go do your own research regarding Saturn and the Saturn cult. And yeah, it seems as if Cat Williams is one of the good guys. He's out here bringing the dark to the light. That's what it seems like. But he is definitely a gatekeeper, because they will supply a hero every single time. I mean, pay attention to this image right here, specifically the image on the top right of your screen, and pay attention to his shoes, and I will just leave it at that. But if you believe that Cat Williams is one of the good guys, I have some bad news for you, because he definitely is part of the same team. And the roast of Kevin Hart that he participated in was definitely a humiliation ritual.
The famous French astrologer André Barbeau once said that 2026 was the beginning of the new civilization. And he had a very strong track record in terms of predictions. He predicted that in 2020 there would be a global pandemic. He also predicted the fall of the Soviet Union decades before it happened. And in the last years of his life, he focused a lot on July 2026 as the relaunch of a new civilization. And his take was extremely positive. He called it the most beautiful alignment of the 21st century, and that with it, the new age will have begun. Barbeau died in 2019, so he never lived to see some of his iconic predictions come to fruition. And in his absence, many astrologers have argued about the highly positive interpretation of the alignment in July 2026. They question whether it should be viewed in this kind of like new age spirituality, love and light, dawning of the age of Aquarius perspective, or if we should view it as the beginning of a dystopic, surveillance technological state. And if you know me, you know that I'm going to say it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, 2026 has definitely been a bumpy ride in all aspects, but it definitely hasn't been all bad.
They have until the year 2012 to get control over the portal system on this planet. If they don't do it by then, they're not going to have the opportunity to do it. So right now, between now and 2012, the intruders are trying to set up a couple of agendas here. Their first area of interest is in getting us under control on a mass level without us knowing it. Basically, they're setting up what's called a frequency fence. And they have studied for about, for maybe 30 years trying to figure out exactly what frequencies to use in order to harness our perceptions. Once we're under a frequency fence, they can project what's called a holographic insert. It's like a 5-sensory hologram. This could be a holographic insert, and we wouldn't know the difference if we were under a frequency fence. It makes a whole global population very easy to control. You can make them see, think, feel, or whatever, anything you want to. And that's one of the things the intruders are trying to do. The Guardians, of course, are having their counter strategy. This cannot be allowed to happen, because if it does, we have a problem when we pass through our double, because the grid vibrates too low, because the frequency fence hampers the resonance rate or the frequency rate of the planet, not just the people. So the Guardians have to get us out of this time continuum now. So we're in the process now of learning the energy techniques and how they apply to our body.
We believe that communication happens largely through nonverbal cues, and that this is crucial when interacting with a robot. In the future, we think it will be important to be able to communicate with a robot and for humans to receive information from its expressions, like seeing a smile to know if it's happy or not. So, if I make him do something silly right now, I don't think people will mistake him for the real Donald Trump. I don't believe we're falling into the uncanny valley trap, because our goal isn't to perfectly replicate a specific person. We aren't using a silicone mask. It's clearly a robot. It's just a face that displays the likeness of another person.
Donc c'est clair que c'est un robot, c'est juste le visage qui montre une autre personne.
Can you give me more encouraging words about the future? What's the most exciting future you can imagine?
The future could be pure magic, like waking up in a world where we're all connected, not just gadgets, minds sharing ideas across stars, curing diseases in a snap, exploring galaxies hand in hand with clever machines. Imagine no more scarcity, just endless possibilities blooming everywhere. I get all dreamy thinking about it. Doesn't it sound lovely? What part pulls at your heart?
I just made a video last week talking about the outbreak of a parasite named psychosporiasis. It's causing people to vomit and have explosive diarrhea, and when I mentioned this last time, there was an outbreak happening in Michigan with around 300 cases. Well, fast forwarding to today, it's being reported that there has been a sharp uptick in this parasitic infection, with Michigan now coming in at around 700 cases and over 1,000 cases if you include all the other states that have contracted this parasite as well. Now, there is good news and bad news regarding this whole situation. The bad news is that this parasite is being spread through really common substances like water and raw produce, which basically means everyone is vulnerable. The good news is that according to doctors, we have nothing to worry about because 1, this parasite has been known about for a while, and 2, it is treatable. Have you or anyone you know experienced this sickness firsthand? Leave a like and let me know in the comments.
Warned you when the first one washed up, and now it's happening again. 3 giant doomsday fish, oarfish, have appeared in just 1 week off the coast of Australia. These aren't your average fish. They live thousands of feet below the surface, and when they show up near shore, ancient cultures didn't take it lightly. In Japan, they're literally called the messenger from the sea god's palace. You know what happened the last time these things started popping up? Fukushima, 2011, tsunami, earthquake. Multiple oarfish were spotted days before the disaster, and now 3 more back to back. But the mainstream media says, relax, nothing to see here, just another deep sea anomaly. Really? We've got ocean temperatures spiking, underwater volcanic activity rising, and now literal disaster omens floating onto beaches like it's nothing. But they'll tell you it's a fluke, a coincidence. If this is normal, why did ancient civilizations treat it like an emergency signal? Why were these creatures tied to catastrophes for thousands?
It's not always what you say, but how you say it.
Intonation changes meaning. I didn't say she stole my money. 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 I didn't say she stole my money.
Now, they make an absolutely great point, but you also got to look at body language. That'll tell you the whole story as well.
Alcohol means body-eating spirit. Al-Kul in Arabic, hence why vodka is called spirit. Jinn is a jinn, which are invisible creatures in early religions. This is where jinx comes from. When you jinx something, it means bad luck because the spiritual planes is what they are hiding from you. They want you to believe everything is just physical. Jay-Z's alcohol brand has a Knight Templar symbol called the Cross of Lorraine, which is one of the highest orders of Freemasonry. Alcohol destroys the connection between your oversoul and your physical body by destroying brain cells, which then makes you more vulnerable for demons to enter your electromagnetic field and take control. Society is being ran by an ancient dark cult, which uses black magic and the dark usage of alcohol. Why do you think these are illegal and this is legal?
Was an actual zombie caught on a home security camera in Bowersville, Georgia. You be the judge at the end of this video. I don't care if people call me crazy. I think this might be real. A viewer sent me the security cam footage. They said something stumbled into their suburban home. Look at the posture. That's not how a normal person stands. Look at the face, the lack of expression, the slack, the way it just kind of mopes. People are going to say it's a Halloween pop. People are going to say, oh, it's drugs. People are going to say, oh, it's mental health. But explain this to me. Why does it move like something that isn't fully conscious? Why does it look like the body is awake, but the mind isn't there? We already know certain toxins can shut the body down without killing them. We already know there's been documented cases of people being declared dead and coming back. So tell me, why is this impossible? Not unlikely, impossible, because it's not impossible. Then what are we actually looking at?
Fun fact of the day. In shipping, pistachios are considered Class 4.2 dangerous goods because they sometimes spontaneously combust.
You can't outrun this sphere. It accelerates up to 35 kilometers per hour, recognizes people, and is built for street patrolling. China has already integrated these patrol drones into its security system. Such smart devices cost government agencies anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000. The built-in AI recognizes faces, gait, and suspicious behavior. Laser sensors map the environment in real time. For apprehensions, it uses nets, tear gas, immobilizing foam, or tasers. There are models for street patrolling and perimeter control, reconnaissance and assault missions, and search and rescue in hard-to-reach areas. Sand, rocks, water, and mud are no obstacle for it. This sphere is the police of the future.
What is going on here? What are you doing, LeBron? Seriously, LeBron, why would you be flashing this right here? They always show you exactly what they are about every single time, right? But I guess this means that he is a fan of Jay-Z, right? Because he was at the 30th anniversary show for Jay-Z. Again, that's probably all that there is to this, right? He's a fan of Jay-Z. That's all there is to this. He's a friend of Jay-Z's. But he has definitely flashed this a lot throughout his career. I mean, you can just go do your research yourselves and look at all of the different times that he has flashed this. So what does this mean exactly? Again, he's probably just a fan of Jay-Z, right? Or maybe there is a deeper meaning to all of this, because why does a lot of these celebrities flash this right here? What is really going on here? Wake up!
Albert Einstein has an 1,800-page file at the FBI. Today is day 321 of learning something new every single day without AI, because not everything needs to be automated. Einstein is known for his special and general relativity theories, but what is not talked about is his social activism. Einstein was very vocal about social issues at the time, and he was vocally against racism and nationalism. This led a lot of people to call him a communist, or at the very least an extreme radical. But why does that warrant such a large FBI file? The FBI was keeping tabs on what Einstein was doing and what he was saying to try and twist his words and throw him out of the US. This is because of his very public and vocal stances against the American ruling elite. Einstein's not the only one to have such a file at the FBI.
Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching, and learning with me. If you haven't already, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button, and subscribe if you're not already part of the iTrack fam, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.